Blog Talk Radio.
Everyone, stop! The show's about to start.
Welcome to another episode of No Conduct Radio. Tonight, we are discussing a plethora of different topics. The first one we're going to go into is you had one job. And I have a question it wasn't from actually a listener. I found this question online and I thought it was very interesting. And another question I actually found online that I thought was very interesting. So, you had one job. I did put out questions. I did put out this topic earlier this week, and we'll see what the listeners had to say about that. And I'll tell you my story based on that. We are currently missing BJ, who's going to be a Char today, so he's coming in fashionably late. And, Char is always late. So it's just me and Logic for now. Logic is probably halfway in his coma. Hi, Logic.
What's up?
Told you, halfway in his coma. Oh, my God, Char, you're not that late.
1 minute. I'm sorry, guys. I was having a meeting with my man. We have weekly meetings, so that's what we were doing. And they're trying to bomb our country.
Who has weekly meetings? That's Trump's fault.
I know that. That's one thing we were talking about. We have to have a plan. Everybody needs a future plan. Because these people are crazy. We've hired this idiot in office, and he literally is trying to get us all killed. And my fish died. So, hello, everyone.
How'd your fish die?
I don't know. I had that fish for a year and a half. His name was Big Man because he's little. Get it? Goldfish.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Char. Only Char.
I had a little funeral. I was a nice owner. I don't know if it knew I existed, but he would float around and kind of do little backflips like when he would go past, like, okay, thank you for taking care of me. But I think they got caught in some rocks, though. I think they got caught in some rocks because I have these beautiful little greenery and rocks and all that. So, yeah, I said a little, had a little service for it and kept it moving. But that was a little action today, besides all this nuclear war. How's everybody else?
We're good. BJ's being a U today, and he's going to be in late.
Oh, is that so? He might have had some big fashion show somewhere or had to sign autographs. Who knows?
Something. But
hi, Logic.
So,
what's up?
What did you say? It was like a delayed reaction. What's up?
I know.
Oh, what up?
But anyways, so about this war that Trump has started.
Right.
So he said, okay, way back before he was president, he was still yapping his gums. If I was president, I would really negotiate really hard, not to have a war and all this stuff. But as soon as he becomes president, he's like, I will rain down terror on them, the likes of the world has never seen before. And so you have actually two Trumps running separate countries. So, if one Trump challenges the other Trump, that other Trump can't look like a punk, so he's going to be like, well, then I'm going to show you what I can do.
Right.
And so
he's running off of the mouth.
He's actually targeting our first line of defense, and then we'll have to see what the other Trump does. So it's Trump against Trump right now.
Yeah. That is certainly a good scenario. But well,
another thing people need to consider is that you hear a lot of people say, the United States, they voted him into office and blah blah blah. Like he really didn't. He lost the general election, and it was the Russians that hacked the DNC in order to make the election go in his favor. And if you follow any of his past, you will find out that Trump, he ran out of his money in the late 90s, his own money. So most of his money was coming in from the Russians. So he's indebted to these people. God knows what kind of deals he has going on with them or what they required. Okay, but there's a long paper trail of him dealing with the Russians and them bailing him out and giving him all kind of money and business deals and everything. All of that is coming with a price. You know, it's no secret that Putin is in deep cahoots with the Russian mob. And like in the other mafia, if you're a weak businessman or you're some kind of, you know, whoever, they're going to put the pressure on you in order to get something from you later. So if Trump starts a war in the Middle East or anywhere over there, it's going to be working out in the Russians' favor because a lot of the Russian resource money comes from natural gas and whatnot. So if there's any conflict, it's going to keep that whole region destabilized in their favor so they can continue to make the exorbitant amounts of money that they're making now already due to the situation out there. So if it calms down... So
you think that's why they're trying to have this conflict going on right now?
If anything calms down and gets diplomatic and countries are able to, you know, be more stable, then the prices are going to go down because the trade is going to be better. But if there's conflict and everything stays inbound, then it's going to go up, which makes them more money. So they're going to that would work out in their favor the whole way. So it doesn't shock me that Trump would start another war or ramp up a war with Iran or Afghanistan or, in this case, North Korea, and it spills over into all of these other areas. It wouldn't shock me because it works out in their favor economically. But people are so caught up. Go
ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was saying I was trying to figure out why, you know, any other country would try to go to war. I know why the United States goes to war, but I figure North Korea just because the guy's a douche. He's, like I said, he's Trump Jr., but I was trying to figure out what any other country would gain from frickin' World War III, basically.
Any country. I mean, I've heard people say it since the Crusade era. Any country, if they ever go to war, it's money. Somebody's making money. I mean, obviously, it's not the poor people who are dying. You have to follow who is in charge and who stands to make money. It's like murder. If any person kills another person, who did it work out for in their favor for this person to die? That's how you usually figure out who the murderer is. You know, or like these wives and husbands that kill, you know, kids or whatever like that. You know, it's usually insurance money or inheritance money. It's always something. But it's money. It's usually money.
The logic, I agree with that. I would say in pretty much every case it is based on money, but in this particular case, there's a couple of different types of motivation for Trump, none of which make any sense. But one of my theories is that he knew that he made a huge mistake. We never wanted him. He didn't get the popular vote to be in office in the first place. He's a freaking idiot. And do you realize that if we go to war, he cannot be impeached. He cannot come down. He has to stay. He knows that. We cannot eliminate him once we're in the middle of a war. And he can say that he was this hero, so to speak, you know, because he won't admit that he doesn't need to be there in office and that he's an asshole. Mm-hmm. He's not going to admit that. That's one advantage for him, is that he knows that if we are in the midst of war, we cannot snipe him out. He has to stay to see it all the way through.
But see, that's you assuming that Trump is number one, a duplicitous and clever person. He's not. He's very blunt and he's very dim-witted. And I'm not even trying to say this as somebody who doesn't like Trump. I'm like, if you really look at his actions over the years, nothing he does is cerebral. It's just blunt movement.
Well, yeah, there's no filter. There's no thought process. Right.
As far as a country not willing to get rid of a leader during a time of crisis, that's not true. We got rid of Nixon when there was a lot of stuff going on. But
there wasn't a war. There wasn't a war particularly. This is quite different. There was not a war at that time. There was just a lot going on.
But we were still in a time of conflict. It was very hot in this country. He got caught doing something that was morally wrong, and the United States had to say, okay, you're a liar. That's what's going on. You're sneaking. So he had to leave because he was going to get impeached.
Well, yeah, exactly.
So with Trump, it makes all sense if you look at it as this is a businessman who was going bankrupt 6 times, so he's not good at business. He ran out of money. Now he's indebted to Russian oligarchs who gave him money and who sunk, and this is documented, they sunk hundreds of millions of dollars for free.
If he ran out of money, why would he not accept a salary, though, as president? I mean, according to the records, it says that he didn't accept anything as salary for president. He's like, I'm good. I don't want anything.
First of all, you don't have a choice. There's not a choice.
I was about to say.
You're not taking that. Number 2, again,
you can give it away. You don't have to take it. I mean, he could give it away to whoever. I mean, come on, no, that is something that's actually written. That's written information that he did not accept a salary. He refused it. He won't refuse his pension or his retirement or whatever it is when they actually are out of office. But is it possible that he's just playing with toy soldiers? That he's an overgrown kid and that he sees these other countries, for example, and knowing that Russia's back in Korea and China, as just a play like toys, pawns and toys, as a child would. And children are not making conscious decisions. They're playing. They think it's fun. They think it's humorous. And when
your analogy is fairly accurate because there is I can't remember. There is a video of Trump talking about going to war or fighting somebody. I can't remember exactly what it was, but he named either the wrong country or didn't he name that the incorrect submarines or something like that? So he basically didn't know what he was talking about.
That's what I'm saying, though. That's what I mean by playing with toy soldiers, because you're immature. Imagine a child. They're not going to take when children play with, cowboys and Indians or soldiers at war, they don't take it seriously because they're children. It doesn't mean anything. It's just something fun to do. That's what he's doing with our country. He's toying with all of us as if we're just pawns, as if we're toys. It doesn't mean very much to him. I don't think he sees the scope of what's happening right now. I honestly don't believe that
you worded that incorrectly. I think you worded that incorrectly. He absolutely does not care about what he's doing right now. You're saying he doesn't see. I think he just doesn't care.
Right. Well, that's why there's no filter. There never was. And, what they're saying, all this rhetoric, he just says this, he says that. He's always been that way. But we elected him, so here we go. Now, how do we deal with this? He's a bully.
See, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. You keep saying that, but again, people are not paying attention to what actually happened. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna tell you something. Where his career should have ended is a telltale sign that a person or a dictator is vying for power. Is when they start trying to control the press, which he does, and when they start trying to get rid of senior military advisors.
Right, that is true. That's
exactly what he said. He said he's going to get rid of all of the generals and stuff because he knows more about ICE than they do. And I'm going to know, I know more about ISIS, and everybody, we're going to do the best, and we're just going to get rid of it because I don't like what they've been doing. He said all of this stuff already. And then number three, when he was running for president, this is a guy that literally said, Russia, if you're listening, I hope you can get the 30,000 emails talking about Hillary Clinton. So he asked a foreign government to hack his own government to find the document needed to get him in a better position for the presidency. That's treasonous in itself. That's a treasonous act that you're asking another government to break into your own in order to find a way to put yourself in a better position. So morally, as a leader, why would you expect this person to care anything about the sanctity of his position? But people don't pay attention to that kind of stuff.
I have a question for the panel. Does anyone believe that Korea is actually bluffing with these missiles? Because they've actually been for years now, probably about 20, 30 years. They've sent missiles to that same space in the water, and they know that it's not. They know that they have a certain amount, a certain space that they can actually hit the missiles, that they can land before they're actually in our territory. So what makes it so different now? Whether it takes 20 minutes or 35 minutes or whatever, why would that be so different now? Do you believe it's just more of a scare tactic, or not even that, just repeating what they have been doing for all these years? I mean, should we take it that seriously? Other than the fact that Trump won't shut up and he's making it worse. But has anyone considered that? They're not doing anything different than what they've been doing.
I think we don't know what they have. It's not like they openly let us in their country or to see what they've been researching. And like I said, it's a case of Trump versus Trump. So, we have two egomaniacs running two different countries. So you never know. He might think he can do it. You never know.
Well, another reason that John Owen doesn't he feels emboldened is because China has North Korea's back a lot.
Does it?
This is the reason. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So that's the reason that he also is a little arrogant and everything. Not to mention the fact that he grew up in that country. They refer to the Kims as almost deities. So he's not dealing with reality. He hasn't lived a normal life and understanding. So a lot of things like Trump, it just doesn't matter to him. This is the reason why, a Trump-type person is so dangerous being in the position of power.
Well, before we move on, I have a quick question, and I may sound dumb, but whatever. Has China been involved in any of the world wars?
Directly? You're talking about directly? Yeah, well, Japan was really, devastating them during World War II because Japan back then was very racist and arrogant. They believed that they were the divine Asians. So they were, pretty much killing everybody. And there's been ridiculous amounts of atrocities that they did in Nanking, and which is kind of set the stage for Mao Zedong to take over. And that's where communism kind of took hold in China after that, which was, the time of Chairman Mao and the Great Leap Forward where millions of them died off. And he was pretty much like Stalin. And from there, the People's Republic of China was born after that, and which is what China is now. And
well, the reason I was asking is because, like you're saying, China's back in North Korea, and then so my thing is, I hear stuff about the Chinese army, and I know how big China is, so I was kind of like, does the United States really want to go to war with China? So I was just wondering if they have any history of, how they fight.
Well, China sent a lot of soldiers in to North Korea unofficially when the Korean War was going on. So that was kind of the first time they was really able to test themselves. And then also it was rumored that they were sending, a lot of Chinese soldiers and commanders into Vietnam and helping the Vietnamese. And just, again, it was kind of covert, and they wouldn't identify themselves as Chinese, but there was a lot of people saying that they were in there and they were giving them weapons and training and blah, blah, blah. So a direct conflict between China and America, no, hasn't happened yet. But there's been a lot of back and forth, tactical moves over time. Yes, that's happened. Can't really prove it, but it's, pretty much a done deal. It has happened unofficially. But the thing was,
unofficially,
China is nuclear. China's nuclear, so we should worry about that. And also, it's weird. China, they have a big army, but it's not the way our army is, which is we have an army of the United States. They have the army of the People's Republic of China. And then there's another group in China that has political power. So it's almost like, the best way I could describe it is if the Democratic Party had an army and the Republicans had an army.
Gotcha.
And our two armies together would equal 1 million people, but there's two different power structures. There's two different lines of command. So it's like it's not really one cohesive group. And then two, they're not, like our average soldier carries like $70,000 worth of equipment.
Good Lord, really?
Yeah. Theirs carries like $1,500 or $2,500 worth of stuff. It's like, so they're not, like, each soldier is not on the level of our soldier as far as equipment and training, but they still do have like the rock soldiers are really intense. So it just depends. It depends. They're not on our level in a lot of ways, but they still have an absorbent amount of numbers. So
yeah,
if you strike China or any enemy for that matter, if they weren't getting along, you could make them get along just by attacking them as a nation, because they would just put all their differences aside and start working together just to stop you. So it's just an ugly situation. It's just best to avoid it because we don't need it.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's time to build bunkers or anything as of yet. I think both of them are just talking crap right now. But, you never know. We'll see. Once you start seeing Trump building his own bunker, I think that's when we should worry. That's what I think. But to continue on with the show.
He needs to be impeached. It's too much.
You said what?
I said he needs to be impeached, though. I mean, it's just too many.
But like I keep telling everybody, if he's impeached, it's just the same him behind him. It's the same person as a vice president. It's not like we're getting rid of anything.
It's not about him, though. It's about this mentality that the average citizen has, that, I can't do anything because the government is too powerful. The government works for you. There is no they. They are you. If you say not to do something, they can't do the shit. If you just pay attention to what your politician is doing. But everybody wants to be an armchair politician, you have to pay attention to what your senator's doing, to what your governor's doing, to what your mayor's doing. You have to pay attention. Your city council members, you have to look at what laws they're trying to put on the books. You have to pay attention to all of that. You can't just vote for president and then act like it's all, the rest of it is all just going to run itself. No, that comes from the top down. If you agree to have an immoral person in the highest, they're going to be immoral because there is nobody setting the standard at the top. But you can't just sit there and be like, well, you know, what do I do? Impeach. Or you write letters. If you say, if there's a thing, a law or something that you don't like that's going on, you will write your senators, or you write your governor, or you organize as a people to get those people thrown out of their position. If you start killing careers, killing political careers, people are going to stop. But there's so many people who are lackadaisical, who are more worried about Kim Kardashian's greasy ass in a picture than they are worried about the way their country is being run.
That is so true. That is so absolutely true. But we'll see what happens. That's all. Instead of like stressing myself out, you know, trying to get Americans to come together and do what's right for the country, I'm just like, whatever. We'll see what happens. So to move on, because I know we're going to jump into politics, and the whole show will be about politics, and we'll have people texting us like, oh, you can't talk about Trump or whatever. Either way, to move on, and BJ came on just in time. What we're going to talk about first, the first topic is you had one job. And the reason I bring this up is because...
What? Hello?
Really? Hello. The reason I bring up this topic is because, as you all know, I have my own business. I do IT, whatever. So, for instance, I went out on a job to decommission a server, blah, blah, blah. Got there, and the job was actually rescheduled for next week. And this was found, like they found this out yesterday. And they had one job, which was to call and tell me. And nobody did. Actually, I found out while I was sitting in the parking lot of the building. You just had one job, call and tell her. So that just made me kind of wonder what everybody else has gone through. Like, have you ever been the person where somebody looks at you like you had one job? Or have you ever gotten into that situation like somebody else did something like going to McDonald's and you ordered, cheeseburger and you got cheese, no burger. You know, you had one job. Any of y'all fallen into that?
Oh, yeah.
Definitely for fast food. I mean, fast food mishaps happen all the time, and it pisses you off because if you're already too far away from the establishment, then what do? Drive back? You know, it's just so annoying. It could be the littlest thing, and they just don't pay attention. And I can't stand that. I mean, how hard can it be?
Though? They wanted to get paid $15 an hour to mess up your order. That was the crazy part.
That's crazy.
We can't live off of it.
Yeah, I remember that, and nobody understood
McDonald's.
why we were saying that they don't need $15 an hour for that. But, yeah, so if you've ever had those kind of stories, Logic, I know you have a truck full of them. Like, that is following you around.
Oh, God, don't even get me started.
Yeah.
There's a convenience store in PA called Wawa. And will remind you of, like in the Midwest, in the West Coast, it was like what the Chevron is, or for I guess everybody else, 7-Eleven.
Like a Circle K or 7-Eleven or a little bit, but maybe more extended.
So they have an area where it's coffee, and there's a person back there that does the coffees. So you got one job. Just make sure the coffee's, there and full. And there's so many times I go in there for coffee, I hit the little lever on it, nothing comes out. Or you get it and it's lukewarm, which means it had to be sitting there for hours because that thing that they put it in keeps it hot for, at least an hour or two. So that had to be sitting there for 4 hours, and then it wasn't fresh. That person didn't do their job,
That's
which
disgusting.
is make a fresh batch. And they still want you to pay, you still got to pay the money, obviously, but, there's been times that I used to get McDonald's coffee because it used to be good. But McDonald's, for the past, I don't know, I would say last year is when I stopped drinking coffee there. But you'd get it, and it would be so watered down, it would look like tea. And I would be like, the only thing you had to do was make a pot of coffee. And you couldn't do that. So, yeah, it's just, that kind of stuff drives me crazy, especially when you're messing with my coffee. I really, that'll drive a wedge
I'm not a
between
coffee
me and
head,
the
but I could imagine.
You know what it is?
Imagine.
Here's the comparison for you. If somebody was at the Nutella factory was messing up, like they were only filling up jars halfway.
Not putting enough chocolate, or just putting the hazelnut in there, chocolate.
They would only fill the jar up halfway, or if they put it in, it would be like thick, like a brick. It wouldn't be smooth and spreadable. That quality control person just like, I'll phone it in. I'm not going to do my job.
Yeah. BJ?
Yes. No, I can't remember. No,
BJ, if you were any more excited,
nothing?
we'd have to calm you down. I mean, my God, he's just too excited.
No, I'm trying to stay awake. That's all. That was, I only had 2 hours of sleep last night, but I'm good. No, I don't recollect
you're
anything
crazy.
No, I don't. When it's full moon, I don't really sleep. I went to bed at 5, got up at 8, and I had to do a whole full day. And I just finished my day. So, no, I don't recollect anything that nobody did their job and one job. I can't remember. So.
Oh, you know what? I got one for you. That was going on the Blue Route today, which caused hours and hours of a traffic jam, is the bridge inspection crew who acts like they couldn't do their job at 2 in the morning when nobody's on the highway. That you had one job. Whoever scheduled that, send them out there at 9 in the morning to go check the bridges because nobody's on the road at 9 on the Blue Route. Send them out there. That guy had one job.
One freaking job. Starscream always failed him.
What about people that have like really easy jobs and it's almost unfair that they're paid so well, like tow workers? No, like the tow. Is that what it's called? The tow people at the bridge when you go to the tow booth, and all they have to do is
tow takers.
Well, what is it called? Yeah, tow. Yeah.
How much do you think they're paid?
Well, I always heard they were paid very well with great benefits. Is that not true?
Well, most of the time it's a state job. That's why.
Right. All right.
Right. Yeah, but
so
my thing is,
the ones I know who don't work for the state, they got paid like minimum wage, and that was it.
Oh, really?
And that's why I was like, yeah. That's why I was asking you, how much do you think they make?
What, toll worker?
I don't know any. Like I know there's a turnpike in Florida. I don't know if that's controlled by the state or what, but I know all of the turnpikes in the Northeast are the Port Authority runs them, so that's state.
Right.
About 19 hours like that.
Yeah. Well,
so did y'all know there was a website? Did y'all know there was a website for You Had One Job? It's actually youhadonejob.org. And I'm looking at these things on here. You know how you buy like a huge pack of like soda and it comes wrapped up with the – so if you're buying Coke, it'll come wrapped up in and it'll say Coke, so you can't really see the soda inside. So they opened up the soda and it was Sprite. So all outside it says Coke. You open it and it's Sprite. Nothing but Sprite. Another one is they have the crosswalk light, but it's upside down. So it's a person walking on the sky.
Wow.
Another one is this a Target store.
You know who else had one job? I'm sorry. The city planner before downtown that had 2 one-way streets going the same direction right after each other. That guy.
God, I hate that.
That's the worst.
If y'all don't understand me, if y'all don't know me, you don't know how much I hate driving in Philly. Because you'll actually go down the street, you'll miss your wherever you're supposed to go, so you know you have to go a right, and right. So you'll go to make that right, and you'll see a one-way point in left, and you're like, okay, the next street. The next street is another one-way point in left, and the next street after that is another one. What the? And then by the time you get to anywhere, you're like in the center of the city, so the only thing you can do is go around in this circle and start all over again. And that circle is so congested, it's not even funny. I hate driving in the city so much.
Whenever you start getting close to Rittenhouse Square, it starts getting real bizarre. You know, like you almost have to be in the twilight zone to end up on the other side of the square.
On the other side of Chestnut
where you need to be. You know, or if you're down there like in Society Hill and you try to follow Delancey Street, good luck, because it ends every 2 blocks. You got to get off and two one ways and come back. I don't know how.
But how does that make sense? How does this make sense?
I don't know. I'm sure if you look at the city grid, like bird's eye, like top down,
right,
it probably makes sense somehow. But driving it's a madhouse.
Yeah.
That you will. One time I was trying to do something in Society Hill, and I ended up almost in Chinatown. I said, "Wow, how did you do that?" Because there was so many things I had to go around, and so many roads that had cut. I almost ended up in Chinatown.
Across Market Street.
Okay, and so for the people who aren't from Philly, how far is that?
Well, it's not an issue of far. It's just in a whole nother section. So it's like, okay, so it was basically I was in an area trying to get to the other side of this square, but I ended up about 10 blocks in the wrong direction.
That's good. That's good.
Just about. Yeah.
That's insane.
I'm still trying to understand. You have a Chinatown in Philly. We have a Chinatown, but it's more like a Vietnamese town, so it's kind of small.
There's a Chinatown in every city. It's Chinatown.
No, I was about to say, how are you?
Well,
what are you trying to understand?
I didn't know that there was one in Philly, and I definitely didn't think there was one in every city. I don't know if that's
There's
true.
one in
Maybe
Houston.
every major
There's
city.
one in Dallas. There's one like almost everywhere.
Houston and Dallas are larger cities than Philly, aren't they? Aren't they more like metropolitan cities? Philly is not even that well. A lot of people don't.
Are
who
you
goes
serious
to Philly?
right now?
Oh my
God! Are you serious right now?
Wait, hold on. I want you to finish that statement. Philly is
please.
not what?
What?
I'm not even from Philly, and I'm just waiting for you.
I mean, it just sounds like a small city. I don't know. I've been there a few times.
Char, do you realize the nation's capital was originally in Philadelphia?
I understand the historical part, but I'm saying as far as what else is there to do?
If it was the first city, if it was the original capital, if it was where the Declaration of Independence was signed.
If it was the first place in the United States that freed slaves.
I mean, it's a major city historically, and it's important to our country. But I mean, as far as a metropolitan city that people think about, and they just go there, and they want to go there, or maybe touristy or whatever, to where there's enough Chinese people. That there's even enough Chinese people to need a Chinatown. Is there even enough Chinese people to need a Chinatown in Philly?
Wow.
Yeah, there are actually businesses that just deal with tourists here. Multiple businesses just deal with tourists here. What are you talking about?
There's a stock market here.
Yeah, we've got a stock.
Dude, where is Char living?
Well, why do you have a Chinatown?
I'm country with her?
Because we have Chinese people living here.
There's a Chinatown. You'll turn around. There's like it's a little area that's like Koreatown. There's everything. There's Jewish Town. I know that's not a race, but they have their own little section. Where have you been?
Like Italian market.
Okay, everybody, listen. Don't get your panties in a bunch. It's not like we even have a real Chinatown, so I'm not putting down the whole aspect of that. I'm just saying I was just shocked that you even had one. That's all.
This is how you can figure out if your town is major or not. If it had a mafia that ran it, you're pretty much a major city. So there was a Philly mob here.
Yep.
All right.
It's like there's the New York mob and there's the Chicago outfit. So.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can go with that.
Wow.
And if you're curious, Vegas is run by the Chicago outfit. So that's who runs Vegas.
Actually,
Chicago.
Vegas is run by, and you guys aren't going to believe this, but it's so true. Everybody here knows the history here. No, it's run by it was built by the Mormons, and the Mormons did have a mob, by the way. It wasn't the Italian mob like you would think.
The Mormons are out in Utah.
No, it's true. No. That's what you would think. That's who built this city here. Period.
No,
everybody knows that.
If you really want to know who really built Vegas, it was Bugsy Siegel and Meyer Land.
No, that's not who built it. That's who. You know what they did? They built the Strip. I'm talking about who literally developed and brought in an actual livelihood. There was nothing here. The Mormons.
If you're talking about who established Las Vegas, it was the military because it was a stopover coming from the eastern bases going to the West Coast, and Vegas was a GI stopover. That's what happened. That's why Vegas was even a thing. Now, the people who made it a tourist, the people that made it a tourist stop, that was the mafia, the New York mob, before the Chicago outfit, which was, what's his name, Al Capone and Frank Nitti.
So this show has turned into history and politics tonight.
Well, you know, this little one-horse town we come from, we got nothing else to do.
We got Chinatown.
I mean, you guys, I'm not putting your city down. I even contemplated relocating there last year, and Ty knows that, so it's not like I'm so anti-war.
Wait a minute.
I did, Ty. You know I did. I talked about it. I was a little serious.
You said, I'm surprised Philadelphia even has a Chinatown, because you're not as big as, Dallas, are you?
Relocating there. I considered actually relocating there.
As a Dallas,
No, I considered relocating there because it's still larger than Easton. Okay, so that was my logic there. I could have been closer to my family without moving back to New York and all that because that's too expensive.
Just putting it
So
down.
I would have learned to love it, I'm sure. Like Kai said, you have friends out here, so out there.
Well, for your sake, I'm gonna tell you this about Philly though, and this is where a lot of people get messed up. You can't say that kind of stuff in Philly because people will check your jaw.
Yeah.
Look. It's every year, it is a lot of New Yorkers that come down here and they have this attitude, and every year I hear about people getting stretched in inner cities, just in bars, getting laid out, because Philly is an aggressive town. You know, kind of has that vibe of like a Boston, where it's just like, I really don't care who you are, you're going to get dropped. You know, so.
I know
when I was growing up, I was kind of scared to visit it.
I know this is going to be controversial, but coming from the South, where you're used to white people being scared of black people, and I don't mean like they're not racist; they're very racist. But if the black person starts stepping up to you, the white people, oh my God, you know, they'll be really scared. To coming up here, and I remember the first time I had an argument with a white person, I had to stop because she caught me off guard because she actually answered me. I was like, you know, I just told you something, right? And she's like, and she's rolling her head, and I'm normally not the one to stop an argument or a fight when it's something like that, but I had to stop because I was completely shocked that my mind just blanked out. And I was just so shocked that this white lady was talking back to me. And that's when I realized the North was completely different than the South.
Yeah,
the East is a lot more aggressive. You Irish and Italian people, they like black people. They would never. They would kill you for saying such a thing. But they are just they're the same thing. It's no different. That's why it always makes me laugh how they think that they're better, and it's like we're the same thing. Live in like BJ, like those white people that live in Fishtown. that live under the same L as the black people
for years.
Right down the street, and they just think,
and the Puerto Ricans,
those
are
Latinos. Your neighbor?
You know,
what you talking about?
You know what else I found out since when I moved up here? You cannot look at somebody. Don't look too long. You maybe have 2 to 3 seconds to look at somebody.
No, they're gonna ask.
Time for a fight. What you looking at?
What you looking at? Yeah, what?
You got a problem?
Yeah. Say something. Early in the morning, just stretch till you go to work.
I've heard that you shouldn't say, like, you don't say good morning. Like you do in the South, you say good morning, good afternoon, hi to your neighbor. I've heard that, you'll get attitude for that. I have never got attitude for that.
You can say good morning. You can say good morning.
Yeah,
you can say good morning. Yeah, I mean.
It's not. It's not the OK Corral. Like, you go to the shop for everything.
Good morning, pal.
Yeah, you could say good morning. There ain't no problem with that. But, if you just have a little bit more, too much glare in your stare, it's got an issue.
But you say glare in your stare. That's just looking at somebody for too long.
Yeah, but
you could just be looking at somebody.
But see, the thing is, you don't understand the urban city. When I say urban, a lot of people white people like to say urban, but they really mean black. But I'm talking about inner city attitude is you're looking at me because you might be trying to punk me. So I'm going to let you know what time it is early. What's your problem? What you looking at? You know what I mean? You want to handle something? You got something on your mind? You know what I mean? So it's a shutdown. It's an early shutdown to whatever you got cooking in your head. I don't know you. If I knew you, then it wouldn't be a problem. You're looking at me, but I don't know you. So now I got to figure out what's
I could be admiring how you stand, how you dress, how you look.
It doesn't matter. If that's the case, then state the case. But don't just stare at me. It's the same thing in traffic. If you're in traffic, you got somebody keep looking at you, that's when you roll down your window. What you looking at?
Like, what you want?
Good God.
It's
yeah.
It's just an aggression that you have growing up in the city. You have to constantly check people that are trying to punk you.
Yeah, too long with eye contact, and that person look away, so whatever.
Another thing is space. If you're standing too close to somebody, I'll stop if I'm in line, and I'll turn around and look at somebody. But back up.
Personal space. Yeah.
Get up off.
Oh my! Are you serious?
Yeah, because personal space, they trying to hump you or something. Like, yo.
If it's some dude and he's too close, I'm like, yo.
Oh yeah.
I owe you money or something. What's wrong with you? Back up.
Breathing down your neck. Like, what the?
Oh, I'm sorry.
God.
Man, just back it up. Get back. Give me room.
Y'all are a little bit too aggressive. Just too aggressive.
No.
But I think a lot that my mom always says I belong in the North because that's how I am. But it's funny that a whole group of people are exactly like me, which isn't a good thing. All right, so we're going to get to this question real quick. And this is something that I found from somebody else online. And I actually posted it in our relationship group on Facebook. So if you look up Relationship Health Question and Answers, that's our group. You can go to that group and send any of the admins a question, and, we'll post it anonymously. So if you don't want anybody knowing it's you asking the question, I don't know, maybe you're married and you want 2 guys to put it in your butt or something, and you're wondering how to tell your husband about it. But you don't know. You don't want him to know. You don't want him to know that.
People get questions like that. That's appalling. Like, what?
Damn.
Wow. It's a good thing it's anonymous.
You can send it to. You can send. It's what? What did you say, Char?
What'd you say?
It's a good thing. It's anonymous. Aren't you guys going to say it? That's from 6 months ago. It's anonymous.
Damn. Oh, shit. It's a Vegas life.
God.
That Vegas.
Oh, Char.
That's how we pronounce it here. It's anonymous. Okay, anyway.
That's how you pronounce it. So,
No,
so if you wanted something like that, but you didn't want your husband to know that you wanted that and you wanted to post it anonymously, then you could just go ahead and message any one of the admins in the group, and we'll post it without your name. So here's a question that I just found was interesting. My fiance wants to have a wedding, and I don't. I want a small ceremony. She wants to use the $16K that I have saved up for a home and for emergency funds. I already spent $3,000 on a ring she wanted, and that was from my savings. We can't seem to come to a compromise. I'm willing to spend $5,000 on the wedding, and she says that's not enough. What can I do?
Damn.
First of all, how much has she spent on anything?
Yeah. Damn.
That's number one. Number two, she can't understand what you're trying to build or whatever. Don't marry her. You're already getting a preview of what it's going to be.
Preview of what she's going to be, yep.
He's getting raked right through the ground, the field, or whatever before he even gets in good. That's really sad.
That's crazy.
You can see what you can expect.
But why do you need to use $16,000 for a wedding? Like, my thing is, if I were you, I would grow some balls and say, if
First
you
of all,
want $16,000 for a wedding, then...
Wait a minute. Well, Kai, don't do that to him. Don't make him a punk because he's sitting here trying to...
Well, no, because he already spent $3,000 on a ring.
But you have to admit,
his savings.
This is what society teaches men that they're supposed to do. They're supposed to constantly jump through hoops to make a girl happy and get her this and that. So you can't just look at him like he's a punk. You got to understand, he might have come from a family where if there was a man around, he might have been a weak man that was like, happy wife, happy life, whatever you do, you gotta... So he could have grown up with that idea. Or if he was his mother was a single mother, that's even worse. Because she more than likely raised him to revere women above all else.
So he's soft.
So he's just imbalanced. He doesn't know that he can put his foot down and say, hey, listen to me. With all due respect, shut up and sit down.
Right.
Yeah.
With all due respect.
With all due respect, sir.
Yeah. 16,000.
Well,
I said grow some balls.
Somebody one of the answers in our Facebook group, I can't talk, in our Facebook group, Relationship Health and Questions and Answers, one of the answers were, since traditionally weddings are usually paid for by the bride and her family, tell her to get her people to come up with the funds, and then you'll have your $16,000 wedding, which is pretty accurate.
Another little known fact is that dowries traditionally were paid to the groom by the family of the bride. That used to be how it was.
Well, it still is outside of the United States and in many countries, or many exotic countries.
No, Char. In many countries, the dowry is paid to the woman, not the man.
Yeah. I'm talking about European culture, not.
Oh, okay. Paid to the woman and not the man. Okay. Well, whatever. Let's get with the American program. We know what happens here. I mean, that's no secret. This is just how we do it here. Is it, it's the women's family that's been responsible. I mean, you can always switch that up. You don't have to go by tradition, but you do have to be respectful, and you shouldn't expect any particular price.
The problem with that is if he's actually sat down and told her what the plan is, and she doesn't care about the plan, she only cares about her stuff. And let's face it, a wedding is just a glorified party for a bunch of freeloaders to drink free booze.
Exactly.
Like, they don't really care about your relationship.
It's free party.
Free. They want to party.
Yeah. Yep.
It's a party.
Expensive party.
So, and all in all, if she wants that kind of wedding, the answer is you tell her to pay for it. Then she'll have her wedding, the wedding that she dreamt of. You don't pay for it.
Yep.
Well, wait. You know what? Here's a good way. Here's a good way out of it. They said they want a $16,000 wedding, right? Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is what you tell her. You come up with $8,000.
Meet your halfway. Yep, that's fair. Halfway. Yep.
Well, he already came up with $3,000 for the ring, so he only needs $5,000.
$5,000.
That's how I would view it.
And she pulls the other $8,000.
I already paid $3,000 for your ring.
You come up. You and your family come up with 11, and I'll put the 5 up because I've 8 already. I mean 3 already. So
right.
Let's see how quick that wedding happens.
That wouldn't happen.
Well, we were thinking that
but why does it matter? But why does it matter?
No, but listen, when you start putting them on the hook for the money, that's when it's all of a sudden, you know, Aunt Jackie has a big backyard, and Aunt Jackie, huh? Okay.
Or better yet, let's go to the Justice of the Peace. Yeah, too long.
Yeah. And get a bag of Cheetos when you're done and celebrate. You're good.
While we're on that subject, this isn't. I just remembered the next question that I have to ask, but this isn't it. So while we're on the subject of weddings and marriages and superficial women, what if you have a guy? So, Char, I'm talking to you. This is just woman to woman. What if you had a guy, and he was broke, whatever. He didn't have a lot of money, but he didn't want to wait to marry you. So he actually carved, and I put this in the relationship group too, he actually carved a ring out of wood and then put like a cheap gem in there and made you a ring, but it was a wooden ring. Would you accept it, and would you accept his proposal?
I would accept his proposal when he has an opportunity to earn whatever it is that if he wants to show his love in a different way by getting a more expensive ring, he can do it later. It's about how he treats me and how I feel about that person. It doesn't matter. I think it's actually cute because for someone to take their time to do something like that from their heart.
The first answer to your question to the question was for you to say when he has the money to buy you a better ring.
The whole point is that but if it matters to him, because he'll probably be feeling embarrassed. Oh my God, people are going to see it. Oh my God, don't worry, baby, I'll get you a ring. It's okay if and when that happens, fine. But if this is your way of showing your love to me, and you took your time to carve, I mean, who does that in this day and time? Something with your hands and your heart that shows me how you feel, the commitment that you have to me for right now, that's fine. And if it never happens with the real ring, who cares?
If it's that what you just described, why would he feel embarrassed?
No, that's not true. Pressure from other people in society, that they would put that embarrassment on him. I would be fine, but other people would say, oh, my God, girl, that's your ring. That man would feel embarrassed. That man is human. I would be fine with it. The man would.
Char, let me explain something to you, okay? And this goes out to all the women that's listening. If a man could be with you and live in the trunk of his car, he would do it. Most men, 99% of them, the things that they get and the things that they achieve today is because women place value on certain stuff. Men don't care about your toenails or about the dress you wear or about the clothes they buy. They get this stuff because you chicks are constantly taxing that kind of thing and looking and assessing a man's level and value based on that. Where do you live? What kind of car do you drive? Do you have kids? Do you have a job that has a vacation and blah, blah, blah? And what kind of stuff can you give? And so dudes constantly have to, be moving up the ladder to get the stuff that is required in the rainforest right now. There's some dude trying to get a banana from a tall tree because some broad in the middle of the tribe is like, I only like bananas from the tall tree. And so he's out there risking his eyes going into Jaguar country because that twat doesn't like regular bananas. That's why. There is no pressure that a man gets. Who's going to pressure him? You think another man is going to say, oh, God, you only gave up with the ring. I can't believe it.
I don't know. I guess I felt like maybe I do. I felt like maybe his family and his friends would be like, "Yo, that's what you gave her, man." Kind of like punk him a little bit.
Broad.
I
If
really
it is somebody in his family, it's a broad saying that to him. It ain't men. We don't care about stuff like that.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now. If I had a cousin that never gave his girl a ring, he gave her a bucket of popcorn and say, "Hey, I love you. Are you married?" And that's it. That's all she got. I would never think about it. I wouldn't care. And I would never assess whether or not she had a ring on her finger because it doesn't matter.
Don't you think that's a lot? Don't you think that's a lot more? But don't you think that's a lot less of a conversational piece than the walking around with a wooden ring that someone carved for you? No, listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. There's nothing to talk about if you never gave her a ring because that's their agreement. But if a woman walks around with a homemade carved ring and a fake little jewel inside, it will bring attention and conversation, and that kind of talk, and I believe that's what would make that man feel insecure.
First of all,
I believe that. I really do.
First of all, that conversation, those bitches need to mind their goddamn business in the first place.
I'm not talking about bitches. I'm talking about men and women.
I'm trying to tell you something, and you're not listening. Men are not going to question your relationship. I'm telling you right now, the only people that would look at a woman and the conversation piece would be the ring, it would be women. Men don't have conversation about whether or not somebody is wearing a ring. We don't care. Women will try to act like you're not in a real relationship or marriage if A, he never put a ring on your finger, or B, you never filed paperwork with the state. And they'll say, oh, well, you're not really married. Why? Because we're not paying taxes together? If that dude is saying that this is my wife, everybody ever asks him, yes, I'm married, or whatever, that's his wife. Okay, but again, women equate that kind of thing because it's money. If you file paperwork with the state, that's alimony. You know what I'm saying? If he bought you that ring, that's money he paid to get that ring. So everything is going back down to a money issue for women. 9 times out of 10. Okay? You even have women that had a man working all his life to get a house, and then they say, oh, well, she ain't even on the lease. Or she's not even on the deed to the house. And why would she be? She didn't put one nickel up to pay for that house. Why would she be on the deed? Oh, well, he loves her. Wow. Ain't that grand?
Yeah. I heard that.
Always coming back down. Yeah.
I heard that. Like,
that's what I'm talking about. Broad, cackling chicks always is messing up the situation. It ain't men.
Well, that's one of the things I was going to bring up to Char, because she said, he might be embarrassed of, people talk in society, and she was like, so, like, if you go out and your friends are like, girl, that's not even a real ring. So I was going to say, well, how do you think he's going to find out about that? That has to be
not me. No, I don't care what my friends say. No, I don't care what my friends say. I said his friends. You guys, y'all are misunderstanding. I don't care what my friends say. I don't care what my friends say. I said his friends, his boys might punk him and laugh at it. I don't care what my friends say. They're not in my relationship.
I'm asking you seriously. You've heard a man say something to another man about jewelry he bought his girl? You've heard that?
How could I? I mean, I've never been in a position where they're laughing at a ring. I don't know. I'm just going by how
you're not.
All my friends have been dudes.
You're not listening to my question.
Most of my friends have been dudes, and I have never heard that.
In your lifetime, have you heard a man arguing with another man about jewelry he bought for his woman? Have you heard that?
Roger, we're talking about a hand-carved wooden ring with a fake little jewel in the middle. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about not being able to afford a $10,000 or $50,000 ring. That's not the example here. Because I don't think anyone's going to make someone feel bad except for women. If the ring is not worth but a certain amount of an investment. But her example was a very homemade, homey-ish, just very basic, look, this is wood. I carved it out of love for you. This is all I could afford. Okay, that's what I'm saying. That changes the whole game, because I really felt like for me, No, it changes the game the way other people see it, because that girl's hand is going to be everywhere. You're going to see it, but I don't care. I just thought that his boys and even his family would be questioning, why did you give her that? Why did you put that poor girl?
I'm gonna tell you.
Wow.
When it comes to things that cost money, this is the only thing dudes are gonna mess with other men about. Like, yo, what's wrong with your TV? You know, go get another TV, man. You can barely see. So it's usually because they're trying to do something, and that something that he has is not adequate enough. Or if he has a raggedy car, it's like, man, when you gonna fix the car? You know, it's not really to demean him. It's just more of this thing is causing a problem. So why don't you fix the problem? But it's not, oh, God, would you look at those pants he has on? Oh, those weren't even such as – like, dudes are not going to do that to you. They don't care. You know, you could go out with them, and the only time they'll say something is if they're going out hunting, and the way that you're dressed, you're going to scare the chicks away. And they're going to be like, no, you ain't going out with us looking like that. No, go put something on, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And they'll start Frankensteining your outfit. Like, yo, Kevin, give him your shirt. Yo, Tommy, you go get your shoes from blah, blah, blah. And they'll start helping him out because they're trying to go and achieve a thing. You know what I mean? But it's not going to be to demean you. Women demean each other. Men don't do that. That's why women can't have relationships with other women, because they constantly are messing with each other psychologically. Men don't do that. We'll fight each other and then be done with it. Women constantly psychologically fuck with each other all the time. And destroy relationships. Because they didn't like her since kindergarten, so they had it out for her. And now I'm gonna fuck her husband, but she's not looking, because this is my chance to get her back for
all the time. He's right.
You know,
he's right.
That's what women do. They want what they can't have and what you have. So that's why I keep them at bay. I have very few female friends anymore.
Men don't act like women because men can't understand women, and women understand women. That's why they don't like women.
Women,
okay, twisted logic there, but okay.
I don't understand women.
I defy a listener to tell me I'm lying. I
was saying I don't understand women, and I don't like women, so they baffle me.
There you go.
I won't say 100% of the time, but like 90% of the time, women baffle me. Hey, sometimes I baffle myself.
I can't tell you how many chicks I've been with where they've been like, listen, if we ever go over to my cousin's house, I'm not leaving you alone. So if I have to go to the bathroom, then you need to figure out a way to. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Well, so what are we going for? Because I got to show her that she ain't the only. Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah. I'm not going. I'm not into that.
It's always a competition, you know. What it is.
I don't know why.
Whether you want to be in the game or not,
there's a game. Anytime there's a game plan when your chick is bringing you to a cookout, like, okay, listen, if my aunt asks you this, what? Wait a minute.
You're being quizzed now.
Right.
Answer. You should have selected B. Okay, that was right answer, B, not A.
It looks like our part-time guest host is calling in.
Oh, hello. She's back from Hot Lamp
96.
Hi, everyone.
Hello. Welcome back.
Hey, how's it going?
Okay, it's good. It's good. Two things. The first one, I guess the listener that wrote in about the wedding situation. As a woman, it's every woman's, well, I'm not going to say every woman's, but it's most women's dream to have a big wedding. To me, that's understandable to a degree. But as somebody that's done been married, did the wedding thing, we didn't have a really big wedding. It was just mostly, family and friends. But women have to understand something. Even though that may be your dream, some men, they have their mind more focused on their future, which that's where it should be. Like he said, he have a savings, for a house and emergency funds. Because when you get down to it, a wedding is going to last basically 5 minutes. By the time all your bridesmaids and groomsmen walk down the aisle and the preacher do what he has to do, it's a 5-minute wedding. So you done spent up to $15,000 on a wedding for like 5 minutes. It's ridiculous. And I mean,
I agree.
Personally, I would look at it like I think it was Logic that said. Now you see what kind of woman you're gonna have because of her taste is she already done picked out the ring, the kind of ring that she wanted. It cost $3,000. Then you turned around and spent another $16,000 on the wedding. You're gonna have an expensive wife. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I have a question. So with the ring, isn't it supposed to be a surprise? So the woman isn't supposed to go pick out her ring and say, "Here, you buy
it." That's how we.
I thought it was supposed to be a surprise.
I find more women now that I hear that say they would actually go because they want a certain ring. Because, like, I understand what you're saying. Like, to me, what's the point of a man? I feel like if a man want to marry you, he already has this in mind. I mean, he done talked to people about it. He's going to go get you a ring. But now a lot of women actually want to go pick out the ring that they want. And I feel like
because it's a matching set with the man.
Make sure it's what they want. As long as it fits, you get the right size, I'm good. Just please don't get the wrong size. I can't wear
the wrong
it.
What?
I mean,
it's
with
the right size.
That's nothing. But I was just
I just
true.
thought about
it.
That's not true. Some men don't know their women. No, some men don't know their women, and they do get the wrong size after spending all that money.
How is he supposed to know the size of your finger without taking you to get your ring?
You have to.
I mean, that's giving
ask
it away.
Logic. They have to ask Logic, and you go to a jeweler unsuspectingly, and you try on rings just for fun and act like it wasn't really like for a wedding, and then now he knows your size.
And she's not
been watching too much TV.
I see that with an engagement ring, not no wedding ring. A engagement ring, not a wedding ring.
No, I'm talking about an engagement. Oh, I see. Oh, well, of course you're going to know the size for the wedding ring. I mean the engagement ring, because once you have an engagement ring.
Listener, see what they said. That's another thing. See, I was so behind in all of this. I didn't know. I thought you got one ring. I didn't know women got engagement rings and then wedding rings.
Right.
Yeah. I didn't know that. I thought you just got a ring. So the ring that he gives you for the engagement, that's the same ring you use. That's all I thought.
No, the engagement ring is a more expensive one. The wedding ring is more like a simple band that goes over that.
Yeah.
Simple band.
But that doesn't make sense to me. But that doesn't make sense to me. If I'm just asking you to marry me, so we're going to be engaged for like 5 years now, however long people stay engaged, I'm going to get you the most expensive ring for somebody that I'm not even attached to yet? That doesn't even make sense. That's the way that I give you a little tiny sterling silver ring. That's your promise ring. It's a promise that we're going to get married. Then, when we're married, then I'll give you the more expensive ring.
I have a question for the panel. I have a question for the panel. And I like our guest to answer this also.
You still have the caller on, right? You do know we still have
I just said I'd like for her to also answer as well. I just said that. I have a question for the panel. I'd like her to participate. Okay? So here's the question. So what does anyone? Okay, who feels that? Who would pawn a ring and who would have integrity to give? No. Say it doesn't work out. Say it doesn't. Okay, I'm gonna give you a better example. My boyfriend. Everybody knows I have a new man or whatever. He told me that he does propose to me. Okay. Anyway, he told me that when he does, I have a boyfriend every 10 minutes. He told me that when he does propose to me, he's gonna spend at least a minimum of $50,000. But please, for the love of God, that's what he. $50,000. But here, hold on, stop. Let me finish. But for the love of God, he said, please do not pawn it if we break up or divorce for whatever reason. Because it's coming from my heart and my hard work. Please don't pawn it. The women that pawn rings, listen, the women have to give it back. That's the question. I would give it back. I don't even want it at this point. What am I going to pawn it for? That was your money. But a lot of people don't give it back. So do you feel, does panel feel that you should give it back?
You can put a car on your finger.
If a man gave you a ring for you to be his wife, I don't care if it was $7. If he gave you a ring to be his wife, and you're not going to be his wife anymore, give the ring back. You bum. stop being a miser here. You give it away. It's like a job. If they gave you a car as a part of your expense account and you got fired or you quit, give the car back. You don't work here anymore.
Well, I have to kind of be. I can't say I'm embarrassed, but I kind of have to put my head down. I kind of have to put my head down here. I'm not embarrassed that I'd do it all over again. But when I got divorced, I took his ring because I wasn't going to give him the satisfaction of pawning it and making money off of my back. And I took my ring. It was mine.
Vindictive tie.
Here we go.
What? I took their
mine. That goes based on what Logic was saying, too.
Go ahead.
Men, it's absolutely right. Men will go out of their way to, as far as like sometimes with women, like I know plenty of men, married men right now that they just want a like nice little cozy house to live in, but their wives were so big headed they wanted something huge, and right now they're in foreclosure, or they so behind on their bills they got to take second mortgages out just because of the woman. Like he want a 3-bedroom, or she may want a 6-bedroom house. Mm-hmm. Now you in debt because of this woman, and it goes back to other women. Women look at other women, they see what they have, and like Logic said, most of the time, women will start dogging you out. Oh, that's all your man could afford, or that's the house that he gonna get. Like that's where it comes from. And men will go broke. Men will be in debt over a woman. Well, some men.
Yep. No, I think we need to update that to suckers will go debt into debt and be broke over some broads.
Yep.
Because I'll tell a chick to get a job in a minute, or the bus is running 24 hours a day. Pack your stuff. There you go.
Moochie.
Have you ever had to tell a woman that, Logic?
Oh yeah. Listen, I have hung up on plenty of chicks in mid-sentence. Like, I can't believe you're gonna. Hello. Yeah, I don't.
And do they walk out backwards, Logic? When they walk out your life, they walk out backwards.
No. That's only the chicks that's actually with me. They never show me their back because they know better. Because I run out.
Okay. I was just checking.
Okay.
Listen,
Hold on. Slow Kai here. What the hell does that mean?
That means you don't disrespect me by turning your back on me. You back out of the room and you say, I'm so sorry. May I leave? Yes, you may leave and go get me a sandwich and bring it.
I guess Logic and I could never be together. Logic and I could never be together because I would look at you and turn my back on you and dare you to do something.
The king level. That's right.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why you would if I wanted somebody like you, because you ain't never had a dude in your life to actually act like a man and remind you that you're a woman. That's the problem with most of these women out here.
You act like a man, remind me I'm a woman, and then you get to the point of a bitch and be like, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to turn my back on you. If it gets to the point where I have to turn my back on you, I'm going to turn my back on you.
Obviously, this is all a jest. But if I do ask you to make me a sandwich, I don't want to hear a bunch of back-talking chatter. Go make me a sandwich and make that happen, because more than likely I do a lot of stuff for you. And if you give me a lot of back-talking chatter, or if it's always a problem every time I ask you to do something, one day you're going to come and your boxes is going to be in the hallway.
In the front door.
Front stoop or something.
To the left.
Like, well,
to the left.
I
your
figured that
boxes
you
are
were
to
so
the left.
busy. I know that you'd be more comfortable at home since you always got something going on, and I can't ever get in contact with you. So there you go. Take care, and I'll see you later. With all due respect.
Better off Beyonce.
Now, wait a minute. But back to my thing. I watch very small things in a relationship or dealing with a girl. If I'm doing something to get money, you got a guy like BJ. He's always on the move. He's always trying to get his dough and his business going. If a girl comes into his life and doesn't understand that his motivation is his career,
right,
and she starts trying to make a portion of his life about her, and she's trying to forcefully do so, like, you don't ever spend time with me, and, my friends are always going out, and we don't go. Like, if that's a woman That's basically the male equivalent of rape. You're raping my time.
Yeah.
Because I don't have the time, and you're trying to force this that I'm not really in a position to give or ready to give right now. You're forcing it from me right now. You know, so I'm not into rape. So you're not going to rape me. You're not going to try to rape the love out of me. You're going to wait until I can give it to you, or I give it to you willingly. But you're not going to try to force it because you're watching your friend. Oh, my friend just went on vacation, and we haven't gone on vacation. Do you have plane ticket money? Do you even have money to cover the cost to fly? You know, I'll take care of the hotel. I'll take care of the little gift. Do you have flight money? No.
Any money?
Shut your mouth. What are you talking about? What are you talking about here? You don't even have enough money to sit next to me on the plane. You're complaining about what you can't do? Shut up.
Yeah. She could fly in a buddy pass.
Go get a job. You know, we don't ever go anywhere.
I have one more
question,
and we only have 10 minutes left.
Wait a minute. Let me get this out first. All these women that want to complain about they don't go out so much. Are you paying for the dinner? Are you paying for the parking or the gas? Or when is the last time any man has been taking his girl somewhere and you wanted to go somewhere? You take your girl and you stopped at the gas station and she jumped out of the passenger seat and ran in there, and you're like, what's going on? And then you come back out and I put $70 on the tank for you. It's my treat.
I wish.
You're a good man. When is the last time women put gas in their dude's car?
That's never happened to you, BJ?
Never.
Char, you've never done that?
I'm going to tell you this. No, I'm not going to say never, but I'm going to tell you this. Any woman that did has a ring on her finger, because that dude married that chick.
Listener, have you ever
help out with gas.
That?
Shoot, it's not free.
What?
I help out with gas.
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, it just, I have. Like, especially if I drive his vehicle, I make sure I put the gas back in. But, I do little things
I'm sorry,
like that.
I didn't hear that. What did you just say? If you did what? You would do what?
Drive his vehicle or whatever, I'll put the gas back in the car, I wouldn't, it's all full, I wouldn't go drive
like you said, Logic,
bring it back on
like you said, Logic, she actually has a ring on her finger, though, so.
Yeah, but what I want to know is, are you, now what I want to know is, are you happy in that marriage, or are you looking for a guy?
I'm really happy. I'm not telling anybody.
He's available, caller. He's available.
Long walks in the city and, talk about the stars.
I think Logic
to that late night cheeseburger.
Oh my God.
Gas in the car after you used it.
After you used it, of course.
All right, quick question, because we only have like 7 minutes left. So I'm going to give this to the listener first. All right. What would you do if you found out that your partner, so say you weren't married, so you just in a relationship for me, I guess a year. So what would you do if you found out that your partner was transgender?
Oh,
how would you not know that?
That's a deal breaker.
Let's do the listener first. She gets first dibs.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, Jesus. A year. So I'm assuming during that year, we done had sex or some kind of sexual contact. That's a hard one. Okay.
Would you leave or stay? Leave or stay?
Wow.
Personally,
the reality
I
there.
found out, I probably would feel some type of way. I probably would leave, especially because they didn't tell me. And that's one thing when you was up front with me and told me, but
if he told you, you would have left anyway. So once the reality hits, Paula, would you leave or stay?
But no, that's not necessarily true. You gave her the option, and she can make an informed decision of whether she will leave or not. That wasn't necessarily true. She might be like, well, you do look like a dude, and you are the first person I've loved. So let's see where this goes. You don't know. You're assuming.
Wow.
Oh, my God. Give me a break. You find out it's a dude who tucked it, and you're going to stay? No, you're not. You didn't sign up to be with a woman. A man. Wait.
Once again, Char, you're You're assuming, and that's probably why the person didn't tell you till it came to the time to do the do. That's probably why, because they were assuming. But you never know. In this day and age, a lot of people will be like, "Whoa,
no, Kai. A lot of times they've done the do, Kai. A lot of times they've done the do, and they still didn't know because they can tuck that thing so many different ways. I saw a movie like that the other day, and you could have a relationship for 6 months, 6 years, and don't know that that's actually a man.
How can you do the do
and how can you not
suck
know
at the same time and not know?
There's no
Look,
way.
I'm not a transgender. I'm telling you what these transgenders say. No, guess what hole it goes in? They tuck it and only do it for one position.
There's no way.
Hey, that's what these transgenders are saying. You guys need to watch YouTube. These transgenders are coming out and saying exactly how they get away with it and how they do it, and they only do it from one position. Hello, in the dark, more than likely, and they tuck it. And that other hoe is
I'm gonna need to see. I mean, before we turn the lights off, I need to see. With this day and age, I have to see.
Me too.
See
the evidence.
I mean, who doesn't look at the whole package? Like, who just turns off the light? Like, that's like you'd be like.
Believe it or not, a lot of people get bamboozled. A lot of people get hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray. They do every day. They honestly did not know. And that person, that transgender tricked them.
Let's go around the table because we only have like 3 minutes left. Okay, BJ. So you found out your partner, you were in love and everything. You're like, this is the best person. You could have never asked for anything more. And, you know, it's time to do the do. And they sit down and hold your hand. And, BJ, let me tell you something. I was actually born Robert. What would you do?
It would be a broken up relationship because I would like hurt you. I would leave. It doesn't go on. No way.
Would you punch him first?
No.
Quick punch?
No punching. No. Just no.
A quick.
Would you get up and leave?
If you punch, you might not stop punching. You might be in. You can do something else. But no, I would get up and leave. You know, I had to break up. Yeah, because that's just the serious deception there. Nah, can't go that way. Can't continue.
Okay.
Logic.
Why can't I think of your name? Oh my God, Char. No, Char.
Char.
Okay, you should always think of my name. But anyway, go ahead.
Wow, yeah, that'll happen. But so the question, so you sit down with your guy, it's the best guy you've ever, well, the dude you're with now, the exact way you feel about him now, and y'all go to do the do for the first time, and he's like, well, I was born Cheryl.
Okay, this is not quite as difficult as if he had a penis. That's not nearly as devastating.
What?
I mean, really? I mean, of course I'm going to leave, but it's not as devastating.
Are you serious?
Because I'm a woman. It's not a man, and he finds out it's a man. No, I'm not a man, and I found out it was a man going in there.
No. It looks like a man, and then you find out it's a woman. That's not as devastating?
No.
Oh, you know
it's a girl, and it's a girl. I mean, please.
Okay, because we
what
still
about
have to
you?
hear from me and Logic, but you know this is about to bleed into next week, so we'll continue that side of the conversation next week. All right, Logic. So you found the woman of your dreams. She puts gas in your car when she takes it.
I'll stop talking to a chick for annoying me. I don't even know why you're asking me this question.
Exactly.
I'm saying, but this is the woman of your dreams. She did everything, so you just opened up your heart, let her in, and then she tells you.
There is no woman of his dreams, guys. They haven't met up yet.
We only have a minute and a half.
I'll throw the woman of my dreams out of the house for talking to a dude online. Get out. Pack your bags. Let's go. Let's go.
But would you do like what BJ said? Would you just, leave? Would you fight him? What would you do?
I'm not doing any jail time to anybody. So, Now if there's a situation where he tries to stop me from leaving or doesn't want to leave, then listen, you're a dude, all bets is off. You're about going to get the what happened, but no, I'm not just going to sit there, oh, you lied to me, and, now I got something to prove. No.
Get out.
Obviously, it would have to be the Mona Lisa of transvestites for me to be shocked.
All right,
you better
so
be
fine. I would definitely break up with them. Me being me, I might black out and start choking somebody, but that's just my personality. But my main thing is just the trust. The trust was stripped from me. And like Logic said, you raped the trust from me. So that's how I would feel, and I might strangle you until either you stop me or you die, one of the two. So that's just my thing. So anyway, next week we're actually going to talk about double standards based on what Char says. So I do want to thank our guest host for coming on. We need to get your name because you call in a lot. Our guest host for coming in, and we'll see y'all next week right here on No Conduct Radio, 6 p.m. Eastern
Bye,
Time.
everyone.
Peace out, everyone.
Thanks again, caller. Have a great week, panel. Goodbye.
Peace.
Peace.